Kazoobie Kazoos? What are we doing here?
We're taking the tour because kazoos are so much fun. You remember when we were kids, we had kazoos and we played them and we had fun with them.
Wow, this is going to be fun. I can't wait.
I know. Let's go in. Let's do this. Okay.
A man by the name of Alabama Van had an idea. Maybe it was based on the gourd mirlitons he had heard about used in Africa, or maybe he was looking for an improvement on the old wax paper and comb that was popular in the day. But Alabama, who lived in Georgia, had a plan for the new instrument. He drew it out and brought it to a local clockmaker, Thaddeus Von Clegg. This is a brief history of the kazoo. The story goes that Alabama and Thaddeus first showed off their device at the 1852 Georgia State Fair. Back then, they called it the Down South Submarine. And slowly it started catching on. It was easy to hear over a banjo and cheaper than a horn section. And soon it became a staple of jug bands, as well as early blues and jazz groups. By the late 1800s, the small metal mirliton, now called the kazoo, was regularly played at musical performances and community parades from Washington, D.C. to Honolulu, Hawaii. In the 1960s and 70s, the kazoo was embraced by the flourishing rock scene. Groups such as the Beatles, Pink Floyd, the Kinks, and others featured kazoo solos in some of their hit records. In its 150 years in existence, the kazoo hasn't slowed down, and neither have the innovations. Kazoos come in as many materials as they do colors: wood, plastic, brass, bamboo, and now electric kazoos are taking the world by storm. We can only guess where this expressive but humble instrument will be in another 150 years. Here's to you, kazoo, for keeping America humming.
This is made by the Clark Company. They're the oldest kazoo makers. They are in the UK and they've been around since the late 1800s. So this is much more traditional, just kind of molded tin, and they use material you're going to replace after a bit because of the moisture in your breath. When we change what the kazoo is made of, we're going to change our sound. Woodstock Kazoo. They're the only other kazoo makers besides us, and they're outside in the United States. They're outside of Eden, New York, and they've been around since 1915. So this is the classic Americana kazoo that most folks are familiar with. And I have my high-class fancy kazoo. This is made with a thicker metal, and it's been plated in 24 karat gold, so it has a nice jazzy sound. We have the Kazoobie, which has been around for over 100 years, and it's like the kazoo, but it's got a longer horn and a resonator on each side, and you place your mouth right on top. We made it a little tiny microphone. It plugs into any amp or speaker. It fits right into the top of your kazoo. And now you have the electric kazoo. So we're going to start with our two-tone whistle. And they use these in big cities. Doormen at hotels will have these in their hand-to-hail taxi cabs for guests. This is my favorite Acme product. This is the clicker or the cricket. And I like it because we've used it for so many different things. It started out as a child's toy over 100 years ago. They would look like little frogs and ladybugs, and you click them. You still see them sometimes.
It's a dog training tool now.
Yes. But then during World War II, this is my favorite kind of interesting odd fact about this. During World War II, they realized if they made a little bit thicker metal, they could be signaling devices. So during the Normandy landings only, Every paratrooper was given one of these, so when they landed behind enemy lines, 1 click meant who's there, and 2 clicks meant friendly fellow. Today, this is exactly what we use to train our pets with, different commands. They also use it in vocal coaching a good bit, and I've had lots of people come in here and do tours that were raised in Catholic schools and say this is a favorite of nuns. If you watched an older film and you heard wind, it would have come from this tiny little jaybird whistle. Sirens from different siren whistles. They would use this a good bit. Have you seen one of these before?
Maybe.
It's a slide whistle.
The slide whistle, yeah.
Yeah, tin, penny, clown. It's got lots of names. And it's actually pretty old. The Native Americans are first known to have made this.
Oh.
We use it for several different sound effects. I'm going to make the most commonly one made with this guy. I'm going to tell you it's going to be a short sound effect because my lungs are only so big.
Roadrunner is falling off of a cliff.
That's it. It's something falling, a short fall, but something falling.
No, Coyote is falling off a cliff.
Yeah,
Well,
he
it
was
could be an anvil, a safe, a bomb.
Oh, yeah, it could be that, yeah.
CME, mostly those. Kids today recognize it a little more from shows like SpongeBob SquarePants and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse when we make sounds a bit more like this.
That's very SpongeBob-y.
I have my adult train. You're familiar with boating, whether a pond, lake, the ocean, a kayak, a john boat, or a yacht. You gotta have 2 things at all times. Coast Guard and DNR are gonna make sure you do, and that is life jackets and signaling devices. Unless you're at night, you have to have lights. We use loud whistles and air horns here, but these are all approved. This is Maritime, International, and Coast Guard approved. It can be heard for up to 2 miles, and in my experience, it's really good at getting teenagers out of bed. Are you ready? This one is loud.
Okay,
Yeah, do
we're
it.
ready.
All done, really quick.
Holy cow.
Oh, wow. We just bought whistles
Yeah,
for our kayaks.
yeah,
Maybe we need
we
one
just
of
got
those.
into kayaking and we just ordered whistles.
That would scare off anything, I think.
Oh yeah.
Alligators?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I go kayaking a good bit, so I feel you on that one. So that is silver instruments. Like I said, we do about 1 million kazoos a year. Examples of where they're going. DreamWorks animation for movie premieres, Trader Joe's, Google, Pepsi, 20,000 to Hong Kong for a marathon. Lots of things you've heard of, and then down to smaller businesses where they're using them in place of business cards. They're also big for weddings as a gift, a Cersei, and of course birthdays. But the most common age that we have gotten every single year for the last 20 plus years has always been 80 years old. We don't know why.
Where you're still young enough to kazoo.
That's the 80 is the birthday magic number.
I'm happy to know that wazoos actually work, because you always hear the saying, I've got at the wazoo. And I'm like, what's a wazoo? And now I know what a wazoo is.
And the way that we get our circles is going to be with this machine right here. So this machine is pretty much nothing more but an industrial size hole puncher. But before we put the bin on top of the scale, we're going to play a little bit of a guessing game, make it fun. So I'm going to show you guys the bin. You guys will take a guess to see how much you think is in my bin, and then we'll put it on the scale and find out the exact number.
I'm going to say 250.
250.
300.
300. All right, guys. And we have 244 kazoos in that bin.
If this was The Price is Right, I would win something.
You would definitely. If you want to get a customized kazoo, it's going to be your customized stamp. or we're calling these dies in factories nowadays. So we do have to charge a $60 setup fee to get one of these ordered, and that's just because we do order them through a different company. But they are made out of silicone, aluminum, and they're also laser cut. So when it does come down to detail, we can get down to an image of a face on a kazoo if we'd like. So this right here is the head of the machine, 590 degrees, very, very hot. So directly below that is where my stamp gets installed, and what we have running in between our machine is the ink color that we're using today. So we have that gold shiny ink on there. This here is my kazoo cradle. So I stick my kazoo in that cradle just like that. I'll put both my fingers on those sensors, that head drops down, and it's actually only going to sit on that kazoo for about 1/8 of a second, so less than a second. So 1, 2, 3. And this right here is a final result from that.
That was easy. Cool.
Yep. So green,
Yep.
pink.
Yep, perfect.
Perfect. All right, guys, and now the most important piece, that resonator. So there is no really rhyme or reason to it. You can kind of just either side, just make sure it's laying nice and flat.
Yeah, it looks flat to me. That's.
Yep, you're perfect.
I don't
You're
have my
golden.
glasses on and it looks flat. Okay, so stick it in and.
Yep, and then you're gonna put the large end of your kazoo in the machine. Give it a good push to the back of the wheel. Perfect.
Wow, that was easy.
You can add the bugle bell to it, and that would make it like a kazoogle.
Oh, kazoos. Okay.
Without the bugle bell, it's just a kazoo. So we always like to make sure that y'all's kazoos are in nice, good working order before y'all leave us. So in order for you to do that, you're gonna go at the large end of your kazoo, and out loud in your kazoo, I want you guys to say the word "who."
At the large end?
Yes.
Is that the mouthpiece, or I thought this was the
No,
mouth?
the larger
The
end.
large
is the
end.
mouth.
Oh, so this is the wazoo right here.
Yes.
Okay, they're working.
Okay, I like the way they sound.
Yeah, so as long as you're talking, singing, or humming, you're gonna get some sound out of those kazoos.
Okay, so the wazoo is smaller than the mouthpiece, as in the human. So there you go. That's how I remember it.
Happy birthday, Victoria! It's a beautiful day here in Hilton Head. We had an outstanding day out on the shrimp trawler, and even though we had to add to our catch today, I am in the process of cooking up today's catch. Look at that. Oh, this is going to be good. I've just put a little oil on there and a little Old Bay seasoning. We're going to grill these up, and we're doing a gluten-free linguine in a lemon butter sauce with some little neck clams that we picked up at the seafood store too. Oh, look at this, you guys. The only thing better than shrimp is shrimp you catch yourself.